Good morning, DCR TV fans. Welcome to Dave TV. The big news today. You remember that? Okay, it's the 10th of December. How you doing, everybody? It's I'm all bundled up. It's cold and snowy. Do you notice out the window there? You can't quite see it. It's snowing. But I'll take the snow over the ice any day. So the Washington Post a couple days ago did this big story about how the Redskins are rotten because they're trying to manipulate all the media, and how they, blah, blah, blah. And Paul Farley did the piece and all that. And I'm just wondering, everybody manipulates. Even the Washington Post manipulates. The Washington Post doesn't get advertising for the Redskins. Do you know that? Did Farley mention that in his article? The Washington Post gets a lot of advertising from the Nationals. When the Nationals are playing, there's all big banner ads for Masson and the Nationals all over the Post, but you don't see any big banner ads for the Redskins that Dan Snyder takes out. And I don't think he even advertises his ESPN 980 in the Washington Post. Why would he? And you got to figure that's got to play some degree into that article the other day where they're really slamming Snyder and his Redskins organization. And I'm not defending Snyder and his Redskins organization because I know they do manipulate and all that stuff. But, that's certainly a factor there. If the Redskins were a major advertiser in the Washington Post, I bet Farley would not have done that story, at least not in the way it was written. That's the way so figure it all. The Post is also a media manipulator. Okay, so here we go. The big news yesterday, aside from Jason Kidd, the program director at PGC, getting low ratings. Yeah, someone just said he didn't produce. What did I hear from somebody over in Parliament Place? He was there for 3 years, and the station struggled in the ratings, and it continues to struggle in the ratings. And so basically, the cost-cutting thing was, what's his name? Steve Davis over there from Fresh is going to now run both stations and all that. I think you're going to see PGC go more and more of a pop direction. I think that's where Kidd was trying to take it. I really think what CBS ought to do with PGC is take it back to its heritage. Kind of make it an oldies station with pop music and urban rap pop, but make it an oldies. Washington doesn't have a really good oldies station. And here's a good way. Remember that format, Jammin' Oldies, that Clear Channel used to run on 99.5 when it was WJMO? Maybe something like that. A Jammin' Oldies type format where they kind of tap into PGC's heritage. At the same time, give us a really good oldie station with pop, soul, rap, mix it all up, but make it oldies. I think that might be the way to go for PGC. But why should I? So anyhow, the other big news yesterday was Elliot Segal over there at DC 101, who's been there for, I don't know, when did he, I can't remember when he came there. Why? He's been there a long time, at least a decade or more. But he's been doing the morning show there at DC 101 for a long time. Anyhow, he's going up to Nueva York. Clear Channel owns DC 101, okay? And Clear Channel also runs Elliott's show on WRXL down in Richmond, which is an alt rocker just like DC 101 is. So what they're going to do is take Elliott. He's moving back to New York from whence he came. Now, Elliott used to work up at Z100 in New York, which is a contemporary hit station that Clear Channel also owns. He's going back to New York, and he's going to work on a station called WOR, which is a heritage AM station, 710 up in New York, which Clear Channel just bought. And Clear Channel is making it basically, it's a righty talker. They're bringing Rush Limbaugh and Sean Hannity over from the old WABC 770 in New York, which is a Cumulus station. And it's basically an AM righty talker, kind of like MAL. But Elliott's going to do the morning show. I find that a little odd to see Elliott, who's kind of like a rock morning guy, on DC 101, going to a right-wing talker. That's a little odd. I don't know. What's he going to do? I can't imagine Elliott playing music during a show on WOR. You know, it's not a music station. It's not even an FM station. I think this is a way Elliott wants desperately to get back to New York. I think he's probably realized he's done all he could do here in Washington. You know, how many more years? Clear Channel's cutting. So, you know, just piping another show from out of the market, you know, and I think you're going to see Elliott evolve into more of a talkie show, you know, and more, you know. And I think maybe he's just that's a placeholder there for him for a while as the station starts up there, that with Clear Channel ownership and their new lineup. And then, you know, maybe he'll get moved over to some FM station or something, or maybe they'll get an FMer for WOR, you know, so they'll be on AM and FM, and then boom, you know, the whole thing will change. I don't know, but it's interesting to see him going up there. But more interesting is the old Washington Post today. Look at it. Now, here's a guy who's been, you know, one of the major guys on Washington radio for the last decade, and he makes this announcement. And what does the Washington Post do? They don't even run they run this. Look at this dimpy little thing. This is it. They don't even put Elliott's picture. They put Bob Madigan's picture. That's all. Signing off. 2 of Washington's longtime radio fixtures are leaving town. DC 101 morning personality Elliott Segal is picking up stakes and moving to New York to host the Elliott in the Morning show for a morning news station. For a morning news, it's a morning news station. A morning news station next month. He'll still be heard in D.C. Period. That's all they wrote. A morning news station. There's M-O-U-R-N. That's it. Sum total. Goodbye, Elliott. No picture of you either. You get Bob Madigan's picture, and then of course they give us a sentence on Bob Madigan leaving after 50 years. Bob Madigan, after 50 years in the radio business, is going beloved man about town. Is retiring to Maine at the end of the year. That's it. So there's 2 big radio guys leaving Washington, and that is all the Washington Post does. Boom, bada boom, bada boom. Wow. Sayonara. I'm telling you, something's wrong with this paper. I mean, it's just pathetically bad. It's pathetically sad. I mean, come on, give us at least an article about Elliott and all those crazy things. You know, I punched up on, this is the truth, too. I never tell lies here. The truth is I go to the truth at Wikipedia, and I'm looking at the Wikipedia page here. Elliott Segal, you know, da-da-da-da-da. You read down here. This is funny. It's personal. Segal was born in Canada but grew up in Houston, Texas. He is married to his wife, Jackie, and has 2 sons. He maintains a relationship with his mother but doesn't seem to like her very much, as he frequently makes disparaging remarks about her and resists contact. Segal also suffers from lupus, but not a serious case. He also suffers from a serious case of flatulence, and he tends to take care of it while on the air. He's a shock jock who is fond of toilet humor, gross-out jokes, and oddball stunts, and he has a hideous cackle that drives listeners away. In fact, his ratings would have been a lot higher had he not had that. I can't even do it. It's like the Joker meets Phyllis Diller. Anyhow, so Elliott is gone away. It'll be interesting to hear the changes in his show now that he's being heard on a news talker up in New York. I mean, obviously the show's going to be different. I don't know. What do you say? But and we did report the news. Bob Madigan is leaving WTOP, along with Jim Farley, who's been the vice president of news over there for many, many years. Madigan will be heading up to Maine. They did a big farewell blowout for him up the Uptown Tap House last night in D.C. So there. And Jason Kidd leaving PGC. As I said, I think PGC should go to a jam and oldies type format. I think that's where they need to be. They bridge the gap there between soul oldies, pop oldies, PGC heritage. Make that all come together, and I think that would be pretty cool there. All right, folks, that's my Dave TV for today, the 10th of December, a snowy morning here in the Washington area. I hope you all survived yesterday's ice storm. I do have to. I'll put out a shout out. I will put out a shout out to the weather weenies over there at the Washington Post Capital Weather Gang. They got it right. They were predicting that, Sunday wasn't that bad of a day, the mild snow and all that, but 10 o'clock at night, the ice, the freezing rain, and it was a mess. And they got it right. So I got to hand it to them for once. The weather weenies over there at the Capital Weather Gang. We're right on the money. All right, folks. Thanks for watching Dave TV. Buck 'em, Dano.